Welcome to the Grow Your Independent Consulting Business podcast. I'm Melisa Liberman, a fellow IC and business coach. On this podcast, I teach you to become a consistently booked independent consultant without becoming a pushy salesperson or working 24/7. If I can do it, you can too. Listen on to find out how.
Welcome to episode 219 of the Grow Your Independent Consulting Business podcast. This is Melisa Liberman, and today I'm so excited to share with you a concept that I've been working on with a lot of clients lately, and also in talking with potential clients. This seems to be top of mind for so many of us as consultants. And so I wanted to make an episode for you on this topic, which is your quick win approach to land consulting clients. Sometimes we just need a quick win, Sometimes we need a quick win because we need a revenue infusion. Sometimes we need a quick win because we want to fill in between projects, perhaps. We've got a little bit of space in between projects and we want to use that time to generate some revenue. Or maybe we want to fit in one more project before a quick project, quick hit type project before we go on vacation. Or maybe, honestly, you just need some mental validation. Maybe you're feeling worried. Maybe you're feeling some self doubt. Maybe your business isn't thriving as much as it was last year or that you're typically used to, and you're worried. And well, I could tell you that you could overcome all of that through mental work, which is true, mindset work can also be a quick path to just getting a few quick wins to create that validation and to calm the worries, calm the stress, calm the nerves, calm the questioning that's that inner critic that's going on in your mind. So, for most of us, we have some need to do all of these things that I just described in terms of what kind of quick win and why we would need it. So, if any of that resonates with you and you're looking for quick wins in your consulting business, this episode is for you. And listen, if you're fully utilized and you don't have capacity in the short term, first of all, that's great news. Hopefully you've priced it and it's really lucrative, fulfilling work. But this is something you want to be thinking about and using the time that you've got right now working on your business to think about what might this look like. Because adding a quick win strategy to your business, even if it's thriving at the moment, can be really valuable so that you've got a more holistic client journey in place. You've got potentially a way to win a quick project and then get your foot in the door and then land and expand into that client, for example, if it's a client you've decided you want to work with. That's the other benefit here is, quick win type projects and quick to deliver type projects. Usually they go hand in hand. Those are great because that helps you to really get your foot in the door, helps you to see the client would really be when you start working with them. And then you get to have all of that insider knowledge to decide if it's a client you want to continue working with. So that's what we're here for today, helping you to think about what could a quick win strategy look like, an effective quick win strategy look like for you so you can layer this into your business and get some quick wins right now as we're speaking. So, before we start talking about the first step, let's talk about the agenda. I want to just clarify before we get really into the depths of the content. What is a quick win? What do I mean by that? I've already given you a few hints. What I'll share with you is my 4-part quick win formula to land consulting clients. And then I want to share a challenge with you, and then we'll wrap it up with next steps. So that's what we're here for. Before we talk about what is a quick win, I want to remind you that an important complementary companion resource for today's episode is my book, Grow Your Consulting Business, the 14-step roadmap to make your independent consulting goals a reality. I said remind you, obviously I'm saying it for the first time right now on this episode, but I talk about it a lot on this podcast. It gives such a good framework for and more depth to so many of the topics, including today's that we're going over. And if you haven't done so yet, I highly recommend doing 2 things. Number 1, go to my website. You can download the PDF. And then number 2, That'll give you quick access to it. And then number two, go buy it on Amazon. Depending where you live in the world, it's, I think, less than $30 and really gives you step by step, 14 steps, in fact, to be working on to strengthen your business, to make the foundation stronger, to set yourself up for things like quick wins that we're going to be talking about today. So you can go to melisabook.com, Melisa book.com, and find all the download and the link to go to Amazon. Okay, so with that, let's talk about quick wins. What is a quick win? As I mentioned, I've already given you most of this already, but just to make sure that we're on the same page about what we're talking about, this is you getting your foot in the door at an ideal client more quickly than you normally would, landing that engagement, and creating a cash infusion for yourself and your business. So that's what we're talking about here today. And what does a quick win mean? What is quick? There's truly no specific answer. For some consultants, it might be that day. You could truly sign a new consulting client today. That is a quick win. For other clients, it might be this week, or you might be thinking about how do I do that this month? Whatever you think is potentially possible, I would go with that as my definition. But I want to say that to you that it is possible that a quick win could be today. Now, of course, you're not going to likely go land a quick win at, a Fortune 50 company or a Fortune 10 company in a 1 day period when they have so many lawyers and procurement departments and all the things. But honestly, this is not unheard of when they need a certain type of expertise and it's an acute need. It's not out of the realm of possibility. And for you, you're likely selling to different types of clients, whether it's Fortune, 1000, whether it's midsize, whether it's startups, whatever it is, thinking about and breaking the idea in your mind about what's possible for you is really important. How could you execute an agreement with a new consulting client this week? Notice in your mind how long you think it takes to sign a new client engagement and start questioning that. So let's center today's topic around something that might feel relatively realistic to you, which is a quick win in the next 30 days. So I will encourage you to, break the mold in terms of the way you think about it. It's possible to land one today. It's possible to land one this week, but let's center today's episode around what it might look like to land a new consulting agreement in the next 30 days as a quick win. If you've been doing that, then challenge yourself to say, okay, now I'm going to do this in 2 weeks or 1 week. But let's go with a month for the purpose of today's episode and really think about what does this require? And so I really boil it down to four things that I've been working on my consulting clients who I coach to help them grow their businesses. We've been working on four key areas, and that's what I wanted to highlight for you here today, this 4-part formula. And you might not be surprised, but the first thing it starts with is what I'll call quick win thinking. This is quick win thinking. And really, I just touched on it for you a moment ago in the sense of for you, you might think that a quick win, there's no way you could land a client in less than 90 days. And so, quick thinking in that case would be how do I reframe that? Number one, to know what that number is for you. And then number two, to reframe it to something that truly is a quick win or a quicker win. So that's where we start here in this 4-part formula. What is what I'll call quick win thinking? Ask yourself, what is it that you're currently thinking right now? I just gave you an example. You might be thinking it takes a long time, or it takes at least 90 days, or Melissa, you should be more realistic. We all know how corporate decision makers work. None of those thought processes are helpful as the foundation for running a quick win strategy for your business, right? Other thoughts I hear so often from consultants: clients aren't buying right now because of the market or the time of year. The market is tight, or I hope this quick win works, but I'm not sure, or I'll do this, but it's not sustainable, or I'll work on a quick win, but it won't count. All of those types of thinking, whether they're about you and your capability to be successful with a quick win, or whether it's about the market and your ideal clients, or whether it's about what you're selling. All of those types of thought processes can either work in your favor or work against you. And the examples I just gave you are likely those subconscious or even conscious thoughts going through your mind in some form or fashion that are not working in your favor. You are not setting yourself up for success if you're trying to execute a quick win strategy with that type of thinking. It's like driving a car with both your foot on the gas and your foot on the brake. And you're frustrated because it's not going anywhere. Like you've got the parking brake on and you're wondering what is going on with my car. It's operating strangely. It's because you have the brake on. You don't even realize it, right? And so that's what we want to, number one, be aware of. And then number two, redirect, reframe, set ourselves up for success in the way that we're thinking. So it might sound something like this. And again, the categories that I want to give you are the quick win thinking relates to how you're thinking about yourself, how you're thinking about the quick win process that you're going to put in place, and the quick win strategy you're going to put in place, the way you're thinking about what you're offering, the way you are thinking about the way you're offering it, the way you're thinking about the receptivity of your ideal clients. Those are the types of categories that we're wanting to, number one, be aware of, where we might be having our foot on the gas and the brake at the same time, or maybe even just the brake, and then redirect that to set ourselves up for success. That's what we want to do for you. So it will sound something like this approach will work. This approach will work for me. I can make this work. It's possible that sales cycles can be short. It's possible this can be easy. My ideal clients will be receptive. Instead of this won't be sustainable, you could redirect that to this teaches me the skill set of ramping up and down my pipeline. Everything counts. When you think this won't count, this happens so often. I was just talking with a coaching client about that this week. It's so common for us to say, oh, I just landed that client. It was a fluke. Or I just landed that client through this quick win process. Or I just landed that client because someone referred me out of the blue and I didn't really have control over it. And we have all of these category of thoughts that whatever we've done doesn't count. And from a quick win perspective, in order to set yourself up for success and to have a strong, stable foundation against which you're executing this strategy, you want to be constantly reinforcing for yourself everything counts. So that's the first of the four-part formula to for your quick win strategy is to implement quick win thinking. This is a lot of the work that I do with my coaching clients who are consultants to help them to see where they've got their foot on the brake and the gas at the same time, and to have a repeatable process that they can leverage to become more aware of where their thinking is holding them back. Those thoughts get really sneaky, especially as we start to uncover the top layer, right? The top layer of thoughts are the ones that are easy to find. Like, oh, this won't count or this won't work. Those are easier to find. And then as we start peeling back those layers, our brain gets smarter at trying to keep us in the same place that we're at right now. And so that's why it's so important to have this type of quick win thinking in place. And quite frankly, a coach to figure out where you're holding yourself back so that you can set yourself up for success. This is why I personally have my own coach as well, and why I coach other consultants, because it's so easy to get stuck in our own way. Okay, so with the first step for you is going to be implementing the quick win thinking. Number two, we want to implement what I'll call quick win emotions. We want to fuel the quick win strategy and actions, which we're going to talk about in this formula. I can assure you this requires action. We want to fuel these with aligned emotions. By that, I mean, when we go out to create a quick win for our business and for ourselves, and we're doing it out of desperation, the result is either that we aren't creating quick wins because those clients, those potential clients can sense that desperation, and it makes the conversations that we're having with them less effective. And then they decide not to work with us, or they decide not to make a decision right now. When you're coming at this, which could be so easy to do, right? It can be so easy to know that you want to implement a quick win strategy right now because you want to infuse enough cash, for example. It can be without including this step in your process. It would be very common or likely for you to be operating this strategy out of feeling an emotion of feeling pressured or desperate or worried or doubt or hesitant. And we don't want that to be the fuel, the emotional fuel against which you are implementing this process, because it won't work. And listen, I want to just acknowledge that the idea that right now I'm here on this podcast talking to you about emotions, which is not the first time I have. We talk about this a lot on the podcast, but it's just, not anything that is commonly discussed for the most part in a corporate setting. We're not used to this piece of it. But you're a business owner now. You're not in corporate being told to not worry about your emotions or to not show your emotions. We're not doing that right now. What we're doing is really flipping it to say, I need to be hyper aware of my emotions so that I can be more effective as a business owner. It's a huge shift, and an important shift from employee mindset and employee approach to business owner mindset, business owner approach. If you're like me and not one that loves talking about feelings and emotions and integrating that into the business, I can assure you this is incredibly important. So you want to be aware of what are the emotions that you're feeling: desperation, pressure, doubt, and have a process for yourself, a mechanism for yourself, a tool for yourself, a way for yourself to notice that and redirect the way that you're thinking, the way that you're feeling, to purposefully, intentionally, and proactively replacement emotions that are much more effective for you and for implementing an effective, successful, quick win strategy. So by this, I mean, you're noticing that you feel doubt. You're noticing that you feel pressured. You're noticing that you feel desperate. Having a process for yourself to redirect that over to curiosity, to redirect that over to confidence, to redirect that over to commitment or to courage. And a lot of times we think those emotions come from something happening. I can't tell you how many times I've been told by consultants, oh, I'll feel confident as soon as I land the client. But we have a chicken and the egg here. We need to be confident, not desperate, to land the client. So, for this quick win strategy, and quite frankly, for just generally running your business, it's incredibly important to be able to recognize what the default emotions are, those unintentional emotions that are being created for you, that you're creating: desperation, pressure, and then being able to proactively, ahead of time, generate an emotion that's aligned to your quick win strategy, such as curiosity or confidence or both. That is an incredibly important element to your quick win strategy. And part of what I like to call the pregame process that I give to my clients, the consulting clients, when they're implementing this quick win strategy. So you want to be doing the same thing for yourself. Okay, the next one is what I'll call the quick win plan. So we've gone through the quick win thinking, and then we've talked about the quick win emotions. And now we're going to talk about the quick win plan. And it really boils down to some very simple things: who, what, how. When is now. So we'll just skip that. Who, what, and how. And so, who, when you're thinking about building out your quick win plan, and again, we defined it as landing a client in the next 30 days, a 15K client, a 20K client in the next 30 days. The question for who is, who are the most ideal clients for a quick win? Notice I did not say, who is your ideal client? What's your ICP? What's your niche? I did not say any of those things. You don't need to sit down and figure out who the ideal client is and redo that exercise for yourself if you've already done it before or you've never done it. We're just talking about the quick wins specifically. Who are the most ideal clients for a quick win? And I'm not telling you here to compromise, to just take any type of engagement, to agree to any type of pricing. That's not what we're doing here. But what we're saying to ourselves is we want to implement and test a quick win strategy for our business. So we have that tool in our tool belt. And so the question is, who are the most ideal clients for a quick win? Again, you would most likely not be picking Fortune 500 companies to do this with, or Fortune 10, pick a number that have large procurement departments and a lot of lawyers and all the things that slow things down, a lot of approval processes. So your first question is, for your quick win plan, who are your most ideal clients for this quick win? What types of clients, or even the names of them, or even people that you know that would most likely be a quick win for you? We're making educated guesses to create this plan. The next bucket here is what? What are you offering for a quick win plan? It would be very unlikely, not impossible, but unlikely that you would sign an engagement with a company to do a 12-month implementation of some software product as a quick win. Again, it happens. It's less likely. So ask yourself, what are you offering? And get clear for yourself. What could I be offering right now? Think about the time of year. If you're listening to this in the real time, we're almost to the mid year point. What might your ideal clients who you think are most open to quick wins, what types of clients and what are their acute pain points? These are not nice to haves that you're selling for a quick win. These are, what are their acute pain points? It might be that we're coming close to the middle of the year. Companies are behind on their goals, and you're putting a plan in place, a strategy in place, a quick win type of a roadmap in place as an offer to help them to achieve the goals in the back half of the year that they are, falling behind on. As an example, you're thinking about what are you offering based on what is the time of year, what is an acute pain point for your ideal clients, what would be really compelling for your ideal clients that they would want to move forward with a quick win engagement with you, what would get your foot in the door. Where might you be able to pass clients and offer some quick win type follow on work? What are the trends that you're seeing that you might be able to leverage as quick wins? Is there some kind of AI strategy that you're seeing as a trend that you might come back and offer to your ideal clients, that based on your best thinking, your best guess, that you think would be most receptive, those types of clients that would be most receptive for a quick win? Perhaps it's a channel partner, some type of offer to your channel partner that flows down to their customers or even to them directly. Like, really getting creative about what is it that you're offering as a quick win strategy, knowing that it's something that you want to deliver ultimately, but also knowing that this isn't your forever offer. It doesn't have to be something you do forever. It doesn't have to be something you ever offer again. It can be something you're experimenting with to see, is this something that I love offering? It might help me get my foot in the door, give me some data points, and then I can, continue refining it, or I can throw it away and create a new one and test that out. We're not creating something that you have to live with forever. Sometimes we think, oh, I've got to really think about this and over engineer it almost because we want it to be perfected. When in fact, really all we're working on here is speed to market type strategy. So we've talked about who and what, and now let's talk about how. So, how can look like putting a plan for yourself for the next 30 days, for example, to have a sprint type of approach. We've talked about that on this podcast many times, but there's a specific episode about the sprint approach. We'll put the link in the show notes for you so you can go back to that. But think about the how could look like a focused sprint approach, which might involve networking. It could look like a focused sprint approach of, really building a lot of thought leadership and getting better at generating inbound leads for yourself because you're creating really compelling content that drives the client journey for those buyers to reach out to you. Or it might look like you uncovering some short term speaking opportunities and doing a couple of them a week, even to generate leads, whatever that looks like for you and your business. And, at the intersection of what you believe would be most effective for your ideal clients and what you believe you would want to pursue, and then figuring out the intersection of those two things to figure out what the how is. So hopefully that gives you some structure around thinking through the plan itself. So far we have the 4-part formula for your quick win strategy involves number 1, your quick win thinking, number 2, your quick win emotions, number 3, your quick win plan, and then finally number 4 is the quick win execution. The plan, number 3, doesn't have to take you very long. You could do this in an hour. You could do it in 2 hours. You could do it in maybe 30 minutes. This is not something we're sitting down and thinking about for the next month. We are moving speed to market here. So I want to just give you that caution. And then what you're doing is, really the thinking and the emotional side of it is part of the quick win execution all the way through. You want to be, starting out with really getting clear for yourself and then having that practice that we talked about to proactively generate and reinforce the thinking that will set you up for success and the emotional state that will set you up for success. So, this fourth part of your quick win strategy and the formula for your quick win strategy is the execution. And truly, what it looks like is committing to it. When are you starting? What does it look like? Scheduling this quick win plan to keep yourself consistent, putting it in your calendar. This is a very simple concept. I'm not telling you this for the first time, but so many of us skip this step. When are you implementing? I'm talking about what day of the week or days of the week, what time frame are you implementing this strategy and committing to it? If you don't currently have client work, it might be 9 to 2 every single day for 30 days. If you're currently working on engagements and working on the business with working in the business, it might look like every Friday for 4 hours, you're focused on this quick win and you're doing 30 minutes, throughout the week each day. Schedule the execution, commit to it, schedule it, know what it is so that you can measure the effectiveness of it. We'll put another link in the show notes for the episode on setting up KPIs and a dashboard for yourself. This is a great place to do that. And then finally, use this as an experimental mindset. Don't think of this as pass fail or I'm not doing a good job or I haven't landed a client yet. This isn't working. Don't think of it like that. Then it creates that fixed mindset as opposed to really looking at this as an experiment and that you have the ability to adjust and optimize and pivot even if you need to in order to make this work. But that requires you to implement your plan to purposefully and proactively and continuously generate the quick win thinking that we talked about and the emotions that we talked about and create the data points for yourself so that then you know what it is that you want to be adjusting. Otherwise, if you're just thinking this isn't working and you don't really know why or how or what that even means, it's so easy to get discouraged. So that's what this looks like in terms of a quick win execution, which is the fourth component here. To recap, we've got the quick win thinking, we've got the quick win emotions, we've got the quick win plan, and then we've got the quick win execution that's fueled with an experimental approach and experimental mindset. So, the challenge that I want to give you as we wrap up today's episode and we talk about putting this into action, I want to challenge you. If you're at the place where you want a quick win, where you need a quick win, where you would love to experience a quick win, I challenge you to focus on this for the next 30 days. Go all in, put these 4 pieces in place. And if you want help doing so, reach out. I have 1 or 2 spots left until the fall. I would love to work with you if this is something that you want to focus in on for your business over the summer. If you're listening to this in the real time, so that you can really hit some quick wins, have some amazing clients that you can work with this summer, and maybe give yourself some more flexibility because they're quick wins and quick to implement and execute, and then set yourself up with a lot more options and a healthier pipeline for the fall. So if that's where you're at right now, you can apply for a coaching exploratory call at consultmelisa.com. I would love to meet you there and see if we would be a good fit working together. Otherwise, I highly recommend that you put today's episode into action and test this out so that you've got this extra tool in your tool belt for your consulting business and you have the proven, tested ability to go create a quick win whenever you want to. How freeing would that be? All right. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you again next week. Take care.
Thanks for joining me this week on the Grow Your Independent Consulting Business podcast. If you liked today's episode, I have 3 quick next steps for you. First, click subscribe on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to make sure you don't miss future episodes. Next, leave me a review in your podcast app so other independent consultants can find and benefit too. And finally, to put the ideas from today's episode into action, head over to melisaliberman.com for the show notes and more resources to help you grow your consulting practice from your first few projects into a full-fledged business. See you next week.